They go on water just to make people smile. They go through the bush path just to make sure that communities are developed. They engage with governments and high key stakeholders just to make sure that they make people happy. Sometimes they get sick, kidnapped, even threatened. Yet they enhance the voices of the vulnerables, persons with disabilities, women, youth, boys, and girls. They take the message to the grassroots, but their voices are not heard. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. I am Josiah, your anchor. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development. This particular person that I'm with today is someone that started from afar, became a colleague, and now she's a friend. Someone that her story over time is something that you need to hear. I call her freshness. Don't try it. It's only my name for her.
Every now and then, please.
But okay, fine. So I thought that you just made me to, stop my introduction. But that's why I call her freshness. And it's one person that her success story in the mutual capacity strengthening program was interesting. Okay, for this, I will be the one to introduce her. Let's meet Kelechi Uzoma. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development. Freshness. Okay, fine. So let's be serious.
Okay, so
introduce yourself.
I think let's finish it. All right, like he rightly said, I am Uzoma Kelechi. Well, my background is accounting. I'm actually a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
But I find myself in the NGO space. I mean, the development space. All right. Somehow, I'm also a data analyst. Data analyst, a gender advocate. I'm very particular about community people. I'm very, very interested in community, especially community women. Yes, like I said earlier, I have an accounting background, but the narrative has changed. So I now call myself somehow a climate accountant.
Yeah, climate accountant.
Yeah.
I saw that recently on your social media page, and it's something that I think we need to start looking at. But let me, before I start putting you on spots, okay, and start going deeper, let's make it lighter. Mutual capacity strengthening program. How was it your way before, during, and then now?
Yeah, prior to mutual capacity training, I had a bit of knowledge around M&E, but not so much knowledge about resource mobilization. All right, then of course my background, also helped me have little knowledge about strategic management and planning, but not as detailed and as explained, it was during the training, because everything was so detailed. Then for M&E during the training process, oh my God, I used to think M&E was a very technical thing because of the way it was
presented.
Yes, and because of the way I learned it.
Okay.
They made it look like, oh, it's too technical. And it's only people with technical expertise that can actually do M&A. But when our lecturer or our facilitator came on board, he made it look like, this thing is so simple. And that made me fall in love with M&E. I'm like, wow. So this can actually be this simple, I fell so much in love with MIE to the point that I fell in love with the facilitator.
Yeah, now she has
He was right.
now she fell in love with you. Don't be jealous.
No, but honestly, he actually did his thing with it. We had people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Some have very high IQs, while some had very low IQs. But one thing that he did is that he carried everyone along. Okay, he balanced it. Whether you have low IQ or you had high IQ, you must learn. And that was it. Then the peer-to-peer review thing we did.
Session,
That was
yeah,
one thing that he
yeah.
also used. Was one approach that I love. It was something that he did that actually all we used. Okay, let me say a methodology
Yeah.
that we used, to bring people together, to share knowledge, to share ideas, and all of that, irrespective of your background. Then for resource mobilization, she did the thing we did as well. Okay, I got to know a lot about mobilizing of resources, proposal writing, sustainability, and all of that. Then for strategic planning, though it was very, very, will I say, it was a crash program. Okay, we did it because of his timing. So
Yeah,
he just came and it was just like a crash thing.
Yeah.
But even in the whole being crashed, it was still very interesting. Okay, he still broke it down. It was another session that I love very, very much.
Now, so people just look at you and talk about the program, and people just feel like, oh, she can knowledge, she gain knowledge. Now, we know your success story is up there on social media. Can you share the process? Let's get to know. So those
Okay.
that don't know, we get to know what really happened
All right.
to you.
Yeah. So first,
or rather for you, any of it.
yeah. First of all, because of the interests that they spark I had during the training, it made me to start reading more while training. While I was going to the training, the training and all of that, I started reading, and I started knowing more things. Okay, so and by virtue of my discipline as an accountant, I have a lot of consulting things that I do with people, especially with the NGO, since I have an NGO background. So I actually went to this particular NGO, although they are nascent, they're still new. So I went there and I noticed they were struggling with their reporting. I actually went there to help them with the financial part of their reporting. They have submitted it, and you don't know how to bring it back.
Okay.
Because it didn't measure up to the standard of the kind of successes they are looking at in terms of programs. Okay, so they returned the financial report, they returned
the narrative report,
and they said two of them must be in sync. You can't talk about a narrative without talking about finances. You must know value for money.
True.
What did you use? How did you spend the money? What are the outputs that you achieved using our resources? So these are what donors look at. Okay, so they called me. I was just there for the financials, and they were talking about the reporting. They said they want to do it by outputs, but they don't know how to do it. I was like, wow, I just finished from an MIE class. Bring it on, let me do it for you, Omo. Let me do it. Let me see your proposal. Let me see your designs and all of that. So they brought their proposal designs. I saw their outputs, and I helped them, arrange it. Then I earned an extra money.
Yeah, of course.
In addition to the one I earned from the financial reporting. So, so I made.
And this was during while the capacity program was going on. So let's talk about the success story after. Yes.
After the training, of course. I'm one person that like learning. I don't just stop at a class or the class. I go beyond the class and I try to develop myself. So after the training, I have to start up learning about sustainability, not just for an organization, but I have to start up learning about environmental sustainability. I mean, holistically, you can't talk about sustainability when you talk about environmental sustainability. Not talk about social people. You need people to sustain an organization. And then don't talk about governance. That the ones that drive, that's the driving force. They drive the whole process. Okay, so I started looking beyond the sustainability we learned around resource
resource
mobilization.
mobilization,
And I
yeah.
had to start doing more. In course of that, I was recommended to actually by one of my persons to now train a nascent organization on sustainability. And for me, that was a big win. And that was a big outcome for me from the
MCS, yes,
yeah,
MCS program.
yeah, and it was a good one.
It's interesting when you hear success stories like this. People might not see the pain that you go through in community development. Let's get some of those stories. What is that bizarre moment in the field that you just feel it shouldn't have happened, or why is it so?
Okay, so I
I,
had
I,
this.
I I want to go beyond the fact that you're a woman. I know
Yeah.
you have a barrier, but let's go beyond that and talk about the pain in the field.
Okay, so I had this very, very pathetic. Let me say pathetic. It was something I don't wish to experience again. I went to a church to actually. My colleague and I went to a church to actually do a documentary or something, and went to a particular this show. Should I let me not mention the name, but there was this particular thing we need to take from a particular company.
Mhm.
All right. So when we got there, we took a bike. Of course, the community don't have a motorable.
Motorable,
Yeah,
at the
just
time.
bike. Yes. So we went there, and oh my god, when we got there, we saw military people, like military men. They were like, "Oh, what is this? Where are you guys going to with our bike?" Because we're like taking pictures,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
they were like, "Why are you taking pictures from my facilities?"
mm-hmm.
The next thing, they put out their guns. That was how me and my colleague and the man carried us like we're going inside the bush.
But they brought that.
Oh my god, we had to run up, had to escape. Okay, we're just going inside the bush headlong. I was like, oh God, pig, where are you taking us to? Like, this place look deserted. You don't carry us go where we don't know.
Mhm.
Then kidnapping was everywhere. It was
Yeah,
rampant. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, please stop. Where are you taking us to? Oh gosh, it was really, really an experience I never wish to experience again. I was like, God, thank you for saving our lives. In fact, we almost had an accident where the guy was trying to escape. He himself was scared.
Yeah,
That
because
he won't be shot.
if they have released
Yeah,
their
that won't be
bullets, it
shot
could
so
have been
well. Oh
anybody.
my God, it was a terrible experience. So that is the thing we experience when we go to the field. When you're passionate about the thing, you don't even allow the experience to deter you. We've had times where we were restricted from actually entering a particular community because we didn't dress like them. We were restricted. But even at that, we still entered. Okay, they had to now provide that kind of dressing for us, then we still entered. We also had cases where there were so much floodings, when we got to the community and we could not even access the community with our cars. We had to now drop somewhere and use our legs,
Legs,
now
yeah.
inside the flood. So the things you go through when you're developing your community. Thank you.
And community need to know these
Of
stories,
course.
so you know the pain we pass through in developing them.
Yeah.
And that will also help for sustainability. They will own the project,
Yeah.
knowing that people are giving out their blood. Now, but let's take it out from let me take you out from that emotional moment
It's all
and
right.
put you on the
Yeah,
spot.
thank you.
What's your best moment, or who was your best facilitator during MCS?
It's
Which
very,
I think I'm going to put you on the spot.
it's very obvious now. Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow!
It's
Come
very
on.
obvious. Okay, yeah, he was my best. I mean, he was actually my best facilitator. Then facilitator Buti also did
Yeah,
very,
Oti. No, I
very
wanted
well.
to be in Oti's class, but unfortunately I was
Yeah, he
engaged.
did very, very, very well. Even with the little time he had, he was able to impact the required and necessary knowledge. Right. Then my best moments were the peer-to-peer learning. I can never forget that.
Of course, the controversial
Yeah, it was.
Kelechi.
Yeah, people always think, she knows too much. I don't know. I don't. Personally, I like to see people grow. Personally, I also like to see people learn. Yeah, I didn't come here by accident. I had a lot of learnings, a lot of readings, a lot of studyings, and any other person can do that.
True.
So that peer-to-peer learning was also something that helped us see people's perspective about a particular matter. They brought their ideas to the board and to the table, and we learned from everyone. No matter how stupid the idea was, it was still critical to the work that we're doing as developing partners. So we need everyone in the room. Even the weakest link, we have to protect it. Everyone is important when it comes to the work that we do as development workers. That's why the training was put up for nascent. We don't have it all together. That's why we were trained.
So, what have you learned in all of these things? Before the capacity, during the capacity, after the capacity, community development space, everything generally, what have you learned?
Okay, so what I learned is passion alone cannot sustain the work that we do. Yeah, passion is very critical, but passion, when well constructed, passion when you channel it with what's this word now? Organized passion.
Oh, organized passion. That's a new one.
Yeah, when your passion is organized. So people are so passionate about the work that they do, but they don't have that organized system to drive their passion. Okay, you have to put your documentation in place to help your passion. You have to do everything possible to make sure that that passion is heard. But it has to be heard in an organized way.
How do you think both communities and CSOs can sustain their project after the course of a project? Because it's one thing that also hindered development. So you see people do fantastic work, go back in 2-3 years, they're not seeing anything.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think an organization could do to sustain their project?
All right. So one thing,
How rather sustain their results.
There is one thing to get fundings, and of course, when you get funding, you have your beneficiaries in mind. You have your targeted audience. You have your right holder, like Osfam would say. You have them in mind. And one thing is, in course of implementing this project, the communities, of course, will be at the for this target audience will be at the fore. Okay, and one thing you should do is make them take ownership. Okay, why in course of developing them, each community has a problem they want to solve. Each community has something they want to deal with. All right, so while you're going through your your interventions, okay, make sure that they take ownership of this project. Make sure they take ownership of this intervention. Get them involved. It should be very, very inclusive. Whether women, whether youth, whether chiefs, traditional people, and all of that. Make sure you carry all of them along. Because once you get them involved, once you get them to own this project, they will run with it even after the funding has stopped.
That's true.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you have to say to Oxfam and the organizers?
Oxfam, I must really say thank you so much. Okay, thank you. I'm a product of your training, and I'm very proud of it. Okay, and I can say it anywhere in the world.
Yeah, of course, the organizers
did a very
Ofure and
Odudu Foundation, Ofure Foundation, then to the organization I am representing.
Yeah,
Only Center for Community Development. We are here for the community. And thank you for also allowing me to represent you. Only Center for Community Development. Thank you so much.
And of course, thank me for always giving her the platform to speak her mind.
Thank you.
Don't mind me. We just want to say thank you to all the facilitators out there. They contributed to whatever anybody is sharing. It wasn't just about me or Boosie. It was everybody put in place, and I want to say thank you for coming to share these stories. It's just unfortunate time will not always allow us to go deeper,
to pour our hearts.
Just to pour them, they go.
Yes, we're doing a lot for the community.
We're doing a lot, and people need to know
we need to be heard.
Yeah, we need to be heard.
Communities need justice. You see what they are going through.
Yeah, but the thing is not just about the community needing justice. We also need to share our own story of what we
Stories.
go through.
Yeah.
So community, we know that we are keeping our blood.
Yeah.
We're taking
Yeah.
our blood to
Yeah.
develop them, and that will help them to sustain
Of course.
the project. So
Of course.
thank you so much for joining us in this episode. My name is Josiah Ebileka, and this is Voiceless Voices. I think I don't have much to say again. It has all been said. See you next time.
Thank you very much for having me.